What's up, what's going on, legends? It's your boy Errl Shatter here, and in today's video, we're going to be playing some Black Ops Cold War. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to find the right FOV or field of view in the settings, so that way you guys know exactly where you should be at, or at least give you an idea of how you can find what's best for you. But before we jump into the rest of the video, if you guys do enjoy this content at any time, or this video helps you out in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Go ahead and throw a goal of 30 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys want to find your way back to the channel for more Cold War content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. All right, so first things first, field of view is what it's going to show the width and height of what you can see on the screen, and that's going to be important. So for those of us that are been console players for years, this hasn't been an option for us, but you have seen people on PC using this to their advantage. And some aspects, it makes people look like they're moving faster, but most importantly, it allows you to see more on the screen than you were able to in the past. So for a lot of you, you probably are just used to the traditional 80 or about 80, and that's where it's been falling for all console games in the past, pretty much as far as Call of Duty is concerned. But now we do have a field of view slider here in Black Ops Cold War. So if you guys go ahead and go down to your settings, we're going to be on the map Miami for this example here. I set it to 80 just so that you guys could see where the default is. We're going to go ahead and move it all the way down to 60, and then we're going to see what that looks like. So if you guys can see here, you're going to notice it looks like it's way zoomed in. You know, you can see if we're aimed right here on this line, you can see a little bit to the right, part of that palm tree is cut off. On the left side, we can see, you know, pretty much to the end of the awning on the sundown building. And so essentially, you're going to, you know, be kind of limited on what you can see. 60 is not the default value. There's going to be some people that might find this is a good place for them. This is not where I recommend, but we'll get into that here shortly. So again, like I said, this is at a 60. We're going to go ahead and, you know, switch up to 80. Because that's where the typical console field of view has been in the past. And we're going to go ahead and leave that there. So you can see a little bit more. You can already tell that at 80, you can see way more than the awning. That tree that was once cut off is really not so much cut off. We can see the whole thing. We can actually see part of another tree that's possibly over there to the right of us. So with this in mind, you can see quite a bit more of the map. Now, most of us would, you know, assume, well, if this is the case, if it can allow you to see more on your screen at a time, when you want to max it all the way out, absolutely not. That's not the answer either. And again, we're going to get into that when I get to my recommendations for field of view here. But essentially what I'm getting at is the more you can see, the better. Yes. But at the same time, there is a balance because it is going to change the way that aiming feels. It's going to make you feel like you're moving faster in the game. And overall, the highest is definitely not the best. So we're going to go ahead and go up by just a little bit here. We're going to go up to 90. We're going to do this in scales of 10 just so we can get some examples here. So now you guys can see, we can even see part of the building to our right. And on the left-hand side, we can actually see that doorway on that building that we were not even able to see that building at all. This is going to give you guys a good perspective. So now you can see here, we're still aimed in the same exact spot, but look how much more we can see. Now there, again, is balance to this because when you aim down sight, it's going to change a little bit on how you aim. Going to feel like some things have no recoil, but these are all not true. These are all visual issues and definitely something that you want to keep in mind. So because somebody plays on the maximum, which most people do not, I highly recommend you do not play on the maximum because it's just going to feel weird and it's not necessarily going to help you in any way. Here we're going to go ahead and switch it up again to that 100. And as you can see how much it's scaling as we're moving up. And this is huge because now we can see the doorway on the left that we couldn't at all. So you're going to, again, be able to see more than you could before, which again allows you to see more stuff. But as you move around, it's going to change how things look. It's going to make your gun seem like it's a little bit different. It's overall a different feel in general. And, you know, there is good places to be. Most people play, I think, on around 100. A lot of people play on like 90-ish or so. I personally play on 110. I know a lot of people do 105. Kind of got to find what's most comfortable for you and what'll make it feel like you're not at a detriment. Trust me, changing this drastically is going to make the game feel completely different. You're going to have to adjust to it. It's going to take some time. But again, not a bad thing. So the fact that this is an option for console players is huge. It's always been available on PC, giving them some sort of advantage over the console guys. But at the same time, great to have. Obviously, we're going to be able to find what's best for us. So we're going to go ahead in here and we're going to switch it. We are at 100. We're going to switch it up to 105. At 105, you can see the entire door on our left. And again, we're back to facing that same window seal we were facing before. You can see plenty to the right as long as the building wasn't there. You can almost, let's just go ahead and scroll just a little bit to where we can't see the building on the right. Let's just get right about here. you can see almost everything in front of you. Anybody on any point of that side of the map, you're going to be able to see, whether it's snipers, whether it's just people running by. You're going to have a great field of view, which is what the whole thing is about, right? What you can see and how much you can see on the screen. And then we're going to go ahead and change it again. Go up to 110. This is where I usually find myself. 110 is here. And then quickly, let's go ahead and switch it just to 120 so you guys can get a feel for what the maximum looks like. So that's maximum. Let's go ahead and aim at where we were before, so you can just see, we can see everything from here. The angle is super wide, but this has got, like, it makes people in the distance seem really tiny. That's kind of what the issue is with playing on maximum. The more you change this, the harder it can be sometimes to see people at a distance, although you do have a wider field of view. And then also, it's going to make it harder for you to hit your targets. You're going to feel a big change in, how your weapon is functioning, or at least how it feels that it's functioning, although that is all visual. So for some people, putting it this high is just absolutely just not a good idea. Finding something a little more balanced, and this is where the recommendations come in. Everybody has a different field of view that works for them. Some people are going to do better at a little bit higher. Some people are going to do better at a little bit lower. Most of us, I've been using 80 forever, so some of y'all won't even know a difference until you actually start changing this, and then you might find that you actually enjoy it quite a bit more. The idea is you'll be able to see a little bit more, but you don't want it to take you down and have you functioning at a lesser skill level than you were before. You don't want to make this make you worse at the game. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go back to where I like it at 110. We're going to go here. As you can see, we can see a decent amount of things, and overall, we're going to be able to get a feel for the game. So I'm going to actually run around just a little bit here, just so you guys can, get a feel. Like, it sometimes seems like you move faster. The reality is, it is all visual. Things are, you're pulling yourself back away from the screen instead of being so much, upfront and personal. So by doing that, things are looking like they move a little bit quicker, but at the same time, again, things are a little bit more distant. So if you feel like you're playing on like 110 and having a hard time seeing people, maybe try going down a little bit. I recommend anywhere between 110 and about 90. 90 is a pretty good place to be. It's a little bit higher than you're normally used to if you've been a console player for all this time. And it's a little bit of an improvement. It gives you enough to where you can see quite a bit, but not so much where it's an insane change from what you've been using in the past. Honestly, when it comes to settings, I think it's a big deal to kind of use what you're the most comfortable with. So being at 80 for so long, I think people going way above 90, especially if they're not willing to put in the time it takes to adjust to it, it's just not going to be a good fit for them, and they're going to have a hard time overall using this field of view. Now, before we cut this video off and we're done talking about field of view, I want you guys to understand one more thing about field of view that we have here. We have affected versus independent. So let's go ahead and turn this all the way up. I'm going to turn it to 120 just so I think it'll show the example a little bit better. So for independent, it says aiming down sights will zoom the field of view to its intended value. So no matter how far away you are, if you do it like that, look how far it zooms in. When you zoom in, it's like way big difference as far as like, okay, you were out here, now you zoom in and it goes back to what it was originally, or around 80. Now we're going to go ahead and switch it to affected. What this is going to do is adjust the ADS to what the field of view you're using is and make it more reasonable to match what an ADS would actually be like. So for those of you that are switching this up, I highly recommend using affected. It's going to make it feel a lot less drastic between. Me personally, when I'm using those longer sights, I feel like this is kind of the issue that I have with some of them, is when you get up close and personal to people, it just throws it off by way too much. Imagine someone gets up close and personal to you and you're using independent. You're going to literally go from being right here to being like way zoomed in, and it's more than likely going to throw off your aim and probably make you a lot less accurate, and more than likely you're going to lose the gunfight. But by having it a match, by being affected, you're going to be able to aim down sight more normally. It's going to keep you on target with who you're aimed at, and overall probably won't affect your shots at all. Now this is one of those bigger things that people don't understand, and honestly I think probably once getting a visual here like this video, you guys will probably understand it just a little bit more. Again, not the same. There's no best field of view. There's no, oh, this guy uses this, I need to use the exact same. It's different for everybody. Sometimes it depends on how good you are at seeing people at a distance. Sometimes it depends on your eyesight. Personally, I wear glasses. If I took them off, it would be kind of hard to see some of those people in the distance for me personally. So I think it is different for everyone. Most of y'all might stay at 80. There's nothing wrong with that. I do highly suggest maybe you move it up to 90 just so you have a bigger picture when you are playing the game. But again, it's not something that you actually have to change in order to improve or even change the way you're playing in general. It's just something that can give you a slight advantage, a little bit more sight on the map, a little bit more visibility, and definitely help you in the long run. Again, don't forget, I do suggest you do not play at 120. So stay somewhere in that 90 to 110 range and you will be just fine. There's people that play of all skill levels, some really great players that play on even 80 still, probably 90. Then some of us even play at 110, and then those rare people out there that play on 120. Across the board, it's all about what is best for you. So hopefully this is going to help you guys kind of understand what field of view is, understand how you can figure out what's best for you, and hopefully this will help you guys nail in the right spot. So that's going to wrap things up for today's video. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support on the channel. Make sure if you guys like this video, hit that like button. We have that goal of 30 likes. Smash that subscribe button if you're new. And most importantly, hit that notification bell so we can see you guys in future videos. Appreciate you guys again for all the support. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.